Hello students, in this video you are going to learn about incomplete dominance and codominance. As you have seen in the previous video that the Mendel's law, in which the key concept is dominance, but there are two more concepts are there. Those are not obeying the law of dominance, that is incomplete dominance and codominance. So see here, incomplete dominance and codominance. So in dominance, as you have seen in the previous video, dominance is a relationship between alleles of one gene in which one allele is expressed over a second allele at the same time. As you have seen in the pea plant height, where the tall plant having this genotypic combination is dominant over this type of gene combination. So in F1 generation, when we cross them, in F1 generation we were getting this type of genotype where all plants were tall. It means here the allele capital T is dominant over small t. This is dominant over small t. So this is the concept of dominance. The first allele of dominant and the second allele is recessive. Dominance is a key concept of Mendelian inheritance, that as you have seen in the previous video. Now come to the topic incomplete dominance. So what is incomplete dominance? It is also called partial dominance. Occurs when a phenotype of the heterozygous genotype is distinct from the and often intermediate to the phenotype of the homozygous genotype. So here no allele is completely dominant over the other. They show the partial dominancy, like in the plant snapdragon and 4 o'clock. These are examples. A child with, one example is more here, a child with wavy hair as a result of one parent having curly hair and one is having straight hair. So that's why this is the intermediate condition where the wavy hair is a phenotype, a result of straight hair and curly hair. So there is no complete dominance. Neither curly hair is showing complete dominance, neither straight hair. Curly hair and straight hair, they show the intermediate condition, that is called baby hair. Now other example of incomplete dominance, that is a plant snapdragon flower where red flower is crossed with white flower having genotype capital R and small r. So here see, when they are crossed and the F1 generation having pink flower, neither red nor white, the intermediate characteristic is expressed here having genotype of capital R and small r. And when they are again crossed in F2 generation, the traits are separated, one red, one white and two pink are there. So ratio is 1:2:1, but in here this is a ratio of F2 generation phenotype. So this is an example of incomplete dominance, where the intermediate characteristic is expressed. No gene is completely dominant over the other. Now see the next topic, that is called codominance. So here you will understand about codominance. What is codominance? When both alleles of a pair are fully expressed in a heterozygote, they are called codominant alleles. See here, when both the alleles express themselves into heterozygous condition, and this is called codominant alleles. Such alleles exhibit a unique pattern of expression, with heterozygous being phenotypically distinguishable from both the homozygous and expressing both alleles equally. Okay, so both are expressing equally in this condition. Now see the examples. See here, codominancy, condition in which both alleles of a gene are expressed in heterozygous offsprings. So see here, white and red both are expressed in this flower. So this is showing codominancy. And example first, see here, one example is given. When a black coat color cow is crossed with white coat color, and they both are codominant in heterozygous conditions. So black cow, suppose you can say, having the genotype capital V, capital B, and here you can say this is small b and small. When we cross them, then the combination will be in F1 generation capital B and small b. So this is a spotted cow that is shown here, showing intermediate condition. Okay, so this is an example of codominancy in the cow, coat color of the cow. Okay, so this is the intermediate condition, that is spotted cow here. Now next example is a blood group in human. Here you see blood type, we are having blood group A, B and O and AB. So blood group A and B, they are codominant, and the gene for blood group O is recessive. Second, genotypes are written here. See there, for blood group A, the probability of gene 2 are there, and for B 2 genotypes are there, for AB only 1 is there, and for O 1 is there. So these are the probability of the genotype for A, for B, AB and O. So see here, A and B, they are codominant. O is recessive, AB is, when the blood group is AB, it's expressing both the alleles here, and they are representing, expressing themselves in the form of blood group A and B. So AB blood group is the example of codominancy here. This is example of codominance. Now the next topic is chromosomal theory of inheritance. You know, the chromosomes are present in the cell nucleus containing, they are formed of DNA. So chromosome theory of inheritance, because chromosomes are having genes for different characteristics and they transfer the genetic information to the next generation. So this theory was given by Walter Sutton and Theodore Boveri in 1902. These two, they have given the theory of chromosomal inheritance. So these are the some key concepts about this. The two workers found a close similarities between the transmission of hereditary characters and behavior of the chromosome while passing from the one generation to the next through the agency of gametes, because gametes are the agencies which transfer the information to the next generation. See, gametes serve as a bridge between two successive generations, because gametes are the units which transfer genetic information to the next generation. So these are called gametes. Male and female gametes play an equal role in the contributing hereditary components of the for the future generation, because these are the units which on combination give rise to next generation. And the nucleus, which is containing chromosome, this is the hereditary unit which transfer the information, and in the nucleus chromatin is found, which is made up of DNA, and this chromatin forms chromosomes here. Many types of deletion or addition. See here, whenever in chromosome there may be genetic deletion or addition, so this change, whenever some genes are added or some part of the chromosome is deleted, it brings variations. Determination of the sex in most of the animals and plant is affected by the specific chromosome. These chromosomes are called sex chromosomes. So there are two types of chromosomes, sex chromosomes and autosomes. So the sex chromosomes, which are responsible for determination of the sex. See here, female X and X, and male is having two type of sex chromosome, X and Y here. These are male combination, this is female combination. Now some salient features about chromosomal theory of inheritance. See here, number 1, both chromosomes as well as genes occur in pairs in a somatic or diploid cell. See here, in male diploid cell or in female diploid cell, both are paired structure, they may be gene or chromosome, they are found in pairs, number 1. Number 2, a gamete contains only one chromosome of a type and only one of the two alleles of a character. So whenever gametes are found, they are only having 50% of the alleles. So they are having one of the two alleles here. This is the feature of chromosomal theory of inheritance. Third one, the paired conditions of both chromosomes as well as Mendelian factors is restored during fertilization. So see, this is gamete and this is also gamete containing 50% of the chromosome in haploid condition, but whenever fertilization takes place, they combine and restore the previous condition again. Now see, chromosomes are also transferred from one generation to the next in a case of, as in the case of gene, as chromosomes are transferred and the genes are also transferred. The number of chromosomes is fixed in each species, as in human there are 46 chromosomes. Every species has different number of chromosomes in diploid cells. These are found in homologous pairs in diploid cells. So in human we have 46 chromosomes, means 23 pairs of chromosome we are having in the cell. So every organism has a definite number of chromosomes. One chromosome from father and other contributed by the mother constitute a homologous pair. Now see, before cell division, each chromosome as a whole and the allele of the gene get replicated and are separated during meiotic division. As cell division occurs, that is mitotic division, at the time of mitotic division they replicate and separated. And then meiosis takes place, and during meiosis the number of chromosome becomes half. So the gamete formation takes place due to the meiosis. Homologous chromosomes from synapses during prophase first stage, which is later get separated and transferred to the daughter cells. Each gamete or haploid cell has only one allele of each gene present in a chromosome. As the gametes, they are haploid and they are having only one copy of the allele in each. These are the some important features of chromosome theory of inheritance. A characteristic diploid number is again established by the union of two haploid gametes. As the fertilization takes place, then two male and female gametes they fuse and again forms zygote, and in the zygote the number of chromosome is again maintained. The number of chromosome maintained again when these two haploid gametes fuses. Okay, so thank you for watching.